Hi, everybody. I'm Bill Davidson. Welcome to Studio Talk. This is going to be the first episode that we've created for the new channel, and I'd like to welcome everybody that has tuned in. I'm joined today with a couple of panelists, and we're going to be discussing how they promote their creative enterprise using social media and how they develop their online presence. To start with, I'm going to ask our panelists to introduce themselves. And Samantha, I'd like to start with you.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me today on the panel. Super excited to be here. My name is Samantha Kennedy, and I am the CEO and founder of Love by Dove. It is a holistic wellness business, and I do Usiki, Reiki, hypnosis, meditation, and yoga. If you are interested to find out more, you can check out www.lovebydove.com.
Excellent. And we'll add links in the video description as well, so people will be able to just click on it.
Perfect.
Excellent. Maite, can you introduce yourself?
Yes, thank you for the invitation. I'm very excited about this interview, this panel. Yes, my name is Maite Rostgaard Grimon. I am Cuban, but in the moment living in Austria, in Europe. And I am a singer. I am a content creator on social media. I make YouTube, Instagram, and all those stuffs. And yeah, that is my job actually. Yeah, what I do. I am also dentist. I am a dentist, and yes, that's my other side of my work.
That's fantastic. Francis, how about you, buddy? Would you introduce yourself?
I'm a photographer, and I work with Bill to keep this local Ottawa modeling, photography, makeup artist, designer group going. And that's how we started doing these interview videos just to produce content for our members of interest during this isolation time. And I also work in IT.
So our topic today is how to create an online presence and how to promote yourself using social media. And I think that that's a big challenge for a lot of people. I'm going to start out with asking Samantha, how do you create your content?
Good question. So I have taken a few different paths throughout this. When I started off, I was creating content purely from a standpoint of what I wanted to see out there or what I felt like people would want to see. And I felt like I was working hard rather than working smart. As where now I'm taking the approach of seeing what it is that people would like to see and then creating the content around that. So kind of taking the reverse approach. And part of that process for me was, as an artistic or creative person, I enjoy the aspect of the content creation, not necessarily the analytical part of the SEO and learning all that kind of stuff. And so my advice to people would be is just to do the part of it that you really love, and then to find other people that love the other aspects of it and then collaborate with them, so that way you're working smart rather than working really hard, and you're not burning yourself out creating content that people might not really be interested in or don't really know how to find if you're not making it easy for people to access that content.
That's fantastic advice. It never even occurred to me, because you're right. As a creative person, there's going to be a lot of things that I might not want to do, or may not feel qualified to do. You know, maybe I'm not a web page designer. Maybe that's not my thing. So I would look to others to help me with that, and in a collaborative effort to do the things that may not be as appealing. That's really good advice. I love that. Thanks, Samantha. Maite, how are you creating your content for your audience?
Yes, so when I started, I was like in a world without internet. I was in Cuba,
Yep.
and kind of a problem because people don't have access to the social media. But now that I'm here, it's much easier. People live all the time with the telephones, and they take a lot of time on the phones, on the Instagram, on Facebook, and what people want to see, they look in this social media.
Yeah.
People want to see always what beautiful is. It doesn't look like reality. And in my personal opinion, I look I, I was looking to show what is my life like.
Yeah.
What is the life of a Cuban girl here in Austria, how I see the world through my eyes. And that is kind of interesting because some of them know me from Cuba, and they see what I do, what I like, what is the culture here. And they also follow me, and then they say, okay, I follow you in YouTube because I want to see more about you. How do you match in this new culture? How is your life like? And most important, to create content with quality. I mean, good photos, good videos. You have to maybe use a photographer or make your own pictures with a better quality. That is the most important engagement content. And also the caption. What you say to the people is also important, that when you post a photo, that you let a question that people have to answer. So we create engagement. And I think this is very important. Some people post a photo and hello people, only that. But you have to ask a question. How are you? How is your day going? And so questions that people say, okay, I have to answer. So is the engagement.
Absolutely. So you're leaving them with something to do, right? A link to follow or an action. I guess that's what they call it, is action items. So you're telling people, leave comments and tell me what you think of this and that. And it really, again, very good advice. Now, Francis, I'm going to pick on you a little bit, bud. How do you promote your business, your creative enterprise?
Well, for me, it's a creative hobby, not yet a business.
Yeah.
Because I have another job in IT. So right now I'm just posting content that interests me.
Mm-hmm.
I see other people's content, and I get inspiration from things I see that look beautiful and look good. And I'm trying to speak back with things that I create in photography and other things. I mean, I post on Facebook a lot. I'm pretty active on Facebook, posting my thoughts and sharing content. But it was interesting that when you asked Samantha and Maite, they both said they both kind of talked about quality and maybe getting somebody who is an expert in a particular thing to help. Like if somebody's an expert in video, you might want to collaborate with them, or audio, to produce your content, because they can up the quality level of it.
Now, you and I are friends, and I know you, so it's easy for me to point things out. Whether you realize it or not, you have had a really good strategy. One of the things that you've done is you've created a private group on Facebook where you share your inspiration, right? If you find a photo that you like and you think it's inspirational, you put it in the group. And your friends and your market, you may not do it for money at this point, but your market, the people you're trying to attract, are in that group, and they're seeing what you're sharing, and you see people go, oh, I really like that concept, and I would love to explore that with you. So you are marketing in that fashion and doing a great job of it. I think it's brilliant.
Well, thank you.
I know a lot of YouTuber photographers that have created separate groups to engage their audience and talk to their audience. Samantha, how do you share your promotional material? Do you just share it on Facebook? Do you use Instagram, Twitter?
Great question. So when I am trying to share something,
Yeah.
I think about blasting that. So I want to put it everywhere possible. And you might have these feelings of like, ooh, I don't want to bother people, or I don't want to come off as annoying, or whatever other self-limiting thoughts you might have from that. But at the end of the day, if they don't want to click on it, they're not going to anyway, and you're going to miss all the shots that you don't take. So if you're not kind of putting it out there in a variety of different groups, so approaches that I'll take, if I have a YouTube video that I'm posting, I'll post that then on my personal page, I'll post it on my business page, I'll post it in groups that are related, and then I'll go and I'll post it on Twitter, I'll post that on basically any other social media platform that I'm on, Instagram, linking them all together and just putting it everywhere at least once. And then when the times come up where it's relevant again, then you can share it again. For instance, I did this today because it's Valentine's Day. I made a Valentine's Day video 2 years ago. Now that it's Valentine's Day and I don't have a new piece of content to create, rather than not sharing anything, I'm resharing something that I had done 2 years ago, because there's tons of people on there that didn't know me 2 years ago. So now I'm going to get new people to see that content that I've already created without having to create more work for myself. So I think it's just a matter of getting over that block of thinking that you're coming off as annoying or that people might judge you, and just put it out there.
Well, that's great advice. Reusing material that way has been well, it's what we've been doing a lot of during COVID, because we can't create new material we can't shoot models, we can't shoot with people in general. How are you promoting to your audience as a singer?
As a singer, I'm not doing too much because there are no public performance that I can make videos and I can post it. That's not in the moment. It's not in the moment. That's why I started to create content about my life, about myself. And it works. It works. People want to know, and it works. I use Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. I should have started like 8 months ago. And I'm trying to grow up my channel. But something that I have very clear is that every social media platform has a his own audience. Instagram, I see Instagram is for very young people, like 15 to 30, 35, 40, and Facebook is more for more people like to 60 years old and so. And that helped me because in the beginning I was using the same strategy for all the social media platforms, but it doesn't work. People in Instagram, they have the... when they want to make a comment, they let a comment. In Facebook, it's like a little... people are more serious. They don't share what they think. They don't share what... but they like, and that is okay. Most of the time, I use Instagram and YouTube, and Instagram, it's like my house. In Instagram, I have built my own audience, my community, and this community I connected to my YouTube, and that's how I work.
Excellent, excellent. That's wonderful. The it's interesting how you pointed out that different age groups seem to be drawn to different platforms. Are there any social media platforms that you wouldn't share to, that you don't use? Are you?
I don't use TikTok. Because I think TikTok is a little funny, but people are making a lot from TikTok right now.
I know.
I think I'm still thinking of if I'm going to start using TikTok, because TikTok is the new Instagram.
I know. What about you? When you create new material, how are you promoting it? Are you using Instagram and Twitter and all the others?
I mainly use Facebook and Instagram, and I have my private group photography group on Facebook. So these are just people that are my friends and that are other photographers that I admire or models. So they're people in this art form.
Yep.
And I'll generally post there first, and it's not a big group. It's only like a few hundred people. And if I get a few likes, then I think maybe there's something that they see in the image that they like that I see as well, and then I'll post it in other groups. And if nobody likes it, or if so, I'm looking for indifference, really. If there's indifference to something, I'll maybe even delete it, and it doesn't, or I'll go back to tweaking it a bit in Photoshop. So I'm looking for a little bit of feedback from people whose opinion I admire, and then if I get that, I'll post to Facebook and Instagram in groups with wider audiences.
One of the reasons why Francis and I started doing photo critiques, like offering that to our little photography group, was because social media, it's hard to measure how good of a job you're doing based on likes. When people see one of my photos and they click like, I don't know why they liked it. Did they like the lighting? Did they like the model? Did they like the pose or the hair or the outfit? Like, why did they like that particular image? Social media doesn't give you a lot of feedback unless people offer criticism.
One thing that I tell my Reiki students is a lot of the time online or with social media, like you're saying, you really don't realize how much you are influencing or inspiring or impacting your audience, because a lot of the time when I see something, I don't like it, I don't engage with it in any way, but it was a great piece of content. I was like, yeah, I really like that. Now I will engage with it because I understand the mindset and perspective of like the content creator and that kind of thing. So I'll do it to like support them. But for most of my life, and even when I was using social media as just like a regular person, I actually deleted all of my accounts and I only went back on social media as a business. And so I think it's also important to be clear as to if you're doing this for a business or are you doing this as a personal brand, and just being really clear on that as to what your intentions are. And if you're just doing it, as Francis said, for a personal reason and you want to get some feedback, and then you don't get the likes that you were looking for, so you delete it, like whatever. But if it's for your business and you're allowing like your audience to impact you in that way, and then you're feeling like, oh, it wasn't quite good enough, I feel like you could actually like be hurting yourself in your business, because like there's lots of people that could have seen that and might have been impacted even though they didn't react to it. You shouldn't base the value off of the amount of likes, because it's just so fake and it's just not real. Like there's people that have hundreds of thousands of followers that doesn't necessarily translate into hundreds of thousands of dollars, and people that have hundreds of followers that have hundreds of thousands of dollars. And so there's a lot of like fakeness online, and I think it's really important to be clear in yourself as to your intention for social media, whether that's building your personal brand or building your business, and then keeping your blinders on and not allowing the criticism or the negativity or the lack of engagement or whatever it is to influence you on your path. Just like continue posting and stop worrying about the rest.
Really good advice. It can be emotionally taxing when you get distracted by what I call the trolls, right? The negative or toxic people that seem to hang out on Facebook and other social media platforms.
And they're going to be the loudest, so you're going to hear from them the most. You're not going to hear from the thousands of people that you positively impacted. Exactly. You're going to hear from that one negative person. And so it takes a really strong person in order to like constantly remind yourself of that, because as the content creator, as the artist, those are the ones that you're going to hear the most, even though you are actually influencing and impacting and bringing so many other.
I want to key off something Samantha said. You know, if some people are just looking at number of likes, I'm not a person to just look at the number of likes and go, oh, that's great because 1,000 people liked it. And that's kind of why I created a private photography group of people I respect. Photographers I respect, models I respect, and other artists I respect. So their opinion matters. Like if I just get 2 or 3 likes from people I know make good stuff, that's going to mean something to me. And it's very easy to buy likes these days. You can buy likes for, I think, 50 cents, and just get thousands of likes, thousands of fake reviews. But it comes down to quality. And if you're making something good, if you're putting your heart into it and you're making something good, and you're really engaging with your audience, that's going to ultimately build a lasting presence online, not going out there and buying likes for 50 cents
Yeah.
a pop,
Yeah.
and creating some fake thing that has thousands of people liking it, but the content's crap,
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Samantha.
Wait, really quick on that. I was just going to say, to add on what you were saying, that you can also check and get feedback from like your analytics,
Yes.
rather than just having people comment as well. So that's something that might be relevant.
Absolutely. How are you getting feedback from your audience?
There are many options to using Instagram, not only posting, there are also stories.
Yes.
You can tell the people in your stories, you can tell something, what happened or what you're doing. For example, I made today papaya juice. I showed photos, what I'm doing. Wow, the papaya. And so then people answer, wow, that I have to do that. I like that. And wow, how do you get that in Austria? This is a tropic fruit.
Yeah.
This is how you get engagement. It's not, people don't see it because this is private message.
Yeah.
When they answer your story. But these people that answer your story and make engagement with you are the same people that make likes and leave comments.
Oh.
And this is very important, not only by posting, but also in your stories. And then you let a little question. I was today in the mountain and say, are you active today? Did you do a sport? And so, and people say yes, no, or help me. I want to make a gift for St. Valentine's Day. And people say, you can write a message or you can buy flowers. This is for me what is about engagement. The people tell me what they think and what they do, and this is they are the same people that leave comments and likes what you're doing. And I think this is what is about engagement, really.
That's terrific. And the Samantha had mentioned, about the negative commenters sometimes appear to be the loudest. So I think a good lesson here would be to, maybe ignore those people and just move on and focus on developing relationships. There's the key word, right?
Sorry?
Relationships. Yes.
Sorry, I want to say something.
Yep.
Because it has happened to me.
Yep.
When you only receive positive comments, you say, oh, that's a good job. People like what I'm doing. Yep. But when you receive negative comments, this is something happening there. When people write negative comments, you're doing a great job.
Yeah.
Because who takes the time to write a negative comment?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think this is the best engagement. When people also not only positive, auch, excuse me, Deutsch, German, not only positive comments, but also negative comments. This is also engagement for me, and this is very good. But most of the time, they don't like what you're doing, but they follow you and they give you likes and comments. And this is the person you need also.
Yeah, yeah. I guess we all need balance in our life.
Yes.